My name is Alex. In 2015, I moved from Jamaica to America. In 2020, I bought my FJ Cruiser and my RV, and I took off across the country with my cat. Last week, I shared how beautiful the drive was from Utah to Colorado until I almost had two blowouts on the highway and got saved by sheer luck. This week, I'm going to share my experiences at the Colorado National Monument, a very beautiful park, but still just not one of the favorite spots that I've stayed at. My complaint about the Colorado National Monument is how unlevel most, if not all, of the RV sites are. I had to chalk my FJ's wheels here, which I've never had to do before, and the front of the camper was raised up all the way, completely maxed out, and it was still unlevel, and I spent the whole night thinking I was going to roll down the hill. So, outside of balancing my poor RV on the nose, I really enjoyed being at the park and climbing on things and then walking out in the evening and seeing the sunset from 8,000 feet above sea level. It is a very beautiful park, and while I'm not sure I would camp there again, it's definitely worth visiting. So, even though I didn't enjoy the RVing aspect of being at the Colorado National Monument, a lot of other people absolutely love it. The place was booked out, so I had to leave, I think, a day or two later. Well, another thing that happened on my way across from Utah was that my maintenance light came on, even though I was nowhere near due for an oil change. So, before I left, I made sure that I checked my oil. So I went to wake Kevin up and then I started the hitching up process. Kevin was a little bit concerned about how I was going to get the truck reattached to the RV because we had a hard time getting it detached the day before, just because of the angle caused by the hill. But it turns out it actually wasn't that bad once I got started. I also needed to borrow windshield wiper fluid from Kevin because, like, once you hit areas in America with trees, you suddenly have a buggy corpse vest on your windshield. So I get to the RV park, and first order of business is getting this dude to move his truck so I can turn my RV. And then I go inside to this mess once I'm parked on a work day. Then it started storming, which is nice. I like storms. And it actually started raining in the desert, which is a pretty big deal. And here I am outside admiring the rain and just listening to the raindrops. And I look across, and what do I see but another FJ Cruiser towing a trailer? I don't see many of those, so I'm always really happy to see my towing twins. After 3 or 4 days of working in Grand Junction, I moved the RV back to Fruita, which I prefer, and I stayed at the James M. Robb-Colorado River State Park, the Fruita Section, which was just a beautiful spot. I loved that I was able to get my paddleboard out on the water again and just enjoy the view and get a little bit of exercise in while I was at it. So after paddleboarding, I decided, you know what, I really like this spot. I think I'll stay for another day. And I was going to do that so I could paddleboard again. So I decided not to deflate my paddleboard. Well, I don't know if what I discovered was how short the FJ Cruiser was or how long my paddleboard was, but it was hell trying to get it to fit in there. I actually had to drive with the trunk open because there was just no other way. I probably could have strapped it to the roof, but I didn't think about that at the time. Then my neighbor came out and started talking to me. I know a lot of people have told me that like nobody ever talks to them at campgrounds. That has not been my experience. I do have a striking setup. I am a person of color. I travel alone. People tend to have a lot of questions to ask me and are just usually friendly unless I'm traveling in a super racist area, which I have done. So, next week, after a whole month of traveling on the road from Southern California, I finally cross the Wyoming border and go into Casper, Wyoming. So, what were my first impressions of the quality state? Well, I guess you'll have to find out next week, Friday. Bye.